coming. You good? Yeah. You like this a little too much, huh? Says, yeah, I do. Come on. All right, you guys, so we have Mr. Pluto here. Our sun's kind of bright in my eyes, but that's all right. I should put my sunglasses on. Okay, he's a good boy. So what we're doing right now is just pager turns. I'm pressing the vibration and holding until he's generally in the position that I want him in. So he, I'm pressing and holding, doing my turn, and then the pressure's off as soon as he's where he's supposed to be. I'm also, a couple times I did speed him up with that pager to get him to glue back to my side. I sped my body up when he was kind of lagging, sniffing the ground, and said, hey, get back to my side. And so what I'm careful with, especially with these reactive dogs, is yes, I want to create a positive association with the e-collar, but I'm also careful with that because I don't want to create so much excitement or arousal on this collar that they feel that button and they get jazzy. So I'm really careful. I would rather not use food, and I can, but for a regular owner or someone who isn't really aware of what they're looking for in a dog, or a dog with you know, more behavioral issues that the owners are struggling with, I'd rather not use food in this and just use the collar or the remote and desensitize the dog to it until they're like, okay, whatever, this is boring, I don't really care anymore. So I'm using food, but I'm careful what I'm rewarding, and I know when to correct if there's a stimulus that comes up. If a cat runs by, I'm not gonna like, oh, look, I've got food, distract you over here. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm simply adding pressure on the remote, the vibration, or shock, you're so awkward, adding pressure on the remote, and yeah, you found something delicious on the ground. Adding pressure on the remote and then rewarding him for responding correctly. So that means a nice state of mind. It's loose and happy as opposed to like excited and aroused. I'm not trying to reward obsession with the food or anything like that. So sometimes I'll correct him for taking the treat too rough out of my hand. I'm aware of what levels I am on that correction and just saying like, hey, little interrupter of, hey, knock it off, pay attention to what we're doing here. So anyway, it's really important, especially with these prey drive dogs or excuse me, reactive dogs or anything like that, that we are super conscious of their state of mind. And if you're worried about it, or you're still struggling with your dog, or having more struggles than successes, I would say leave the food for a while and drop it. Now, if I'm working with a super fearful dog that's not fearful reactive, but just scared, I may introduce some more food just to change their emotional state of mind. Now, that being said, on the contrary of that, you can still just do it through the work. You silly boy. You can do it through the work and the repetition, and you're gonna get a good result. I actually almost like that better. But to be honest, it doesn't look as pretty. It doesn't, you know, the dog isn't going to be as showy, and that's not what I'm after. I'm not after like what the dog looks like, honestly. But if I can, people who know me, I'm hard ass with dogs, and I have a soft side, and I can share that with them, and I'm very aware of it. But dogs are typically like, this lady doesn't mess around. I'm small and mighty in that way. So when I pass them off to their owners, who's normally like a softer person, it's, the relationship is different. The only relationship with this dog has with me is like trust and respect. And I don't really share a lot of my soft stuff until they're giving me soft stuff. So it's, you know, there's so much structure here. There's so much this. And so like Auntie Lucy, whoever, you know, all the dogs refer to me as that. That was dumb. But anyway, Auntie Lucy, they know that it's like, as soon as they show up, they're like, oh, I gotta be on my best behavior because I'm with, you know, my aunt who's puts me in line and keeps me in check. On the contrary, we don't have a lot of dogs doing naughty things. They know what they're, I have dogs that are here that are around my 7 cats, and when they're at home, if they see a cat, they're like, want to eat that thing. From day one here, it's like, nope, that's not an option. You don't eat these cats. You don't react to the goats. You don't do those things. Not saying that it doesn't happen, but it's like from day one, we're very clear on the rules and what's acceptable and what's unacceptable. You have to be nice to your neighbor in your crate. You have to respect all the other animals around here. You have to respect the kids. You have to do all of that. So, all of that being said, I use treats to kind of balance that relationship out of like, hey, this is fun. There's a cat right there. Oh, he sees it. We're going to correct that. A little high there, right next to my face. No, good. So there was just my vibration. He moves away. That's awesome. That's what I want to see with this dog. And then he removes his focus off of it. Now Peppercorn is going to come right down here and good. So that little bit, he's worried about it. Awesome. Good. So he's, me just using this pressure, he's moving his body and actively trying to avoid that situation. I'm going to help him through that and then have him follow me away. Good. Using vibration, and then I'm also really slowing my body on those turns now. I'm not trying to get a bunch of jazz out of him of like, oh, let's go back to our treat work and like have a bunch of fun around this cat. If he was super scared of the cat, yeah, maybe I might try to use some play or excitement or anything like that. He's actively trying to avoid this cat because he knows he's been corrected for looking at the cat inappropriately. So that's where I go back to my foundational work here of like, hey, follow me, don't get too excited, as he's looking for treats. But this is where I'll put my treats away in that moment. There's chicken. And really focus on his state of mind. I'm gonna glance down at my dog. What is he's hiding behind me right now. But his insecurities, he used to like run into my leg a lot on walks. He used to hide behind me, and he still does. So the fact that he's somewhat relaxed here, making good choices on his own, he saw the cat moving and he goes, oh, that's not a good choice. I need to go back to this. I didn't press any buttons there, no. Now she's jumping up on the trailer and behind the camera. Good. But the fact that he's moving back, checking in with me is awesome, I feel like. So anyway, I'm going to keep working him, and you can kind of see where all of a sudden a distraction presents itself, and I'm still going to keep working the dog using that foundation. I may or may bring treats back into this, but I don't think I will, because, well, right in this moment while the cat's here, because I really want him to be in tune and be like, hey, this doesn't mean excitement, oh, there's levels of cats. He's not ready for that yet. And again, this is like high prey drive. It's not fear-based, even though he's insecure around it because now he can't eat it. Huh. because he's practiced trying to eat a cat before. Sent a cat to the hospital. Luckily it survived. He's a big boy. So reactive dogs, again, are gonna be reactive to stimulation on the collar. I'm using the vibrate, not to sound nicer, not because I don't use stimulation, but any pressure on his neck, no matter what button I'm pressing here, he's gonna, especially when there's a distraction around or he's used to being like reactive to those things, he's gonna be more reactive on this collar. So I'm slowing my body, keeping him calmer, really helping him through this. Pressing my pager. Nice. Nice. So he's looking up at me for treats, but he's in a nice, kind of loose, relaxed state of mind rather than like obsession. And I always tell people that if you're going to reward a dog, reward relaxed engagement, not obsession. And that's really, really important. So when he turns kind of ugly like that, when he turns and he ends up on the wrong side, I'm just going to turn again. He's going to be there. The cat's coming down. I'm going to correct that. Nice. Avoidance. So I'm fine if he wants to move back away from that. He's checking in with me. This is kind of awkward because what I was going to do is do a turn, but for a nice clean turn, if I press my pager and turn right now, he's going to end up on the other side of me. So what I'm going to do is back up a little bit so I can get him to move nicely around me. And all of this is just practicing for when I come out the door. I open the door, turn around, and it's like a dance. If it's awkward, you're going to be stepping on each other's feet. He's going to turn the wrong way and not know what to do. For all of my people who dance out there, or have taken a dance class, it's really awkward in the beginning, and all these professionals make it look really easy, like anything. But it's really fumbly in the beginning. If some dogs, their body's so big that they don't even know like how to like maneuver through a doorway nicely, and you know, when we're in a tight space, opening a crate door and you have to go around here and then sit and wait and then go in and then turn around and so I can take your leash off. Like all of those things, I want to be very fluid and like a dance and have all these steps where, you know, I come out the door and you turn nicely behind me. That's awkward. He's running into my legs, his head's in between my legs. Like, so he doesn't really think about where he is or where his feet are, and some of it is insecurities or, you know, whatever you want to call it, but he's kind of a lug, to put it in simple terms. So I'm slowing down my body, speeding my body up. See, he wants to avoid that cat right there, so he's gonna get awkward. He's gonna do a turn. He's gonna try to go to this side. I wanna clean up these turns, so I might even add treats into this right now, just to kind of lure him and see how he's avoiding the situation. He doesn't wanna be near that cat, which is fine, but if he's uncomfortable here, maybe I'll start doing my turns back here. But then this is where I want to kind of hold them accountable. I know that cat's over there. I'm going to give you a benefit of the doubt, make this a little bit easier on you, and then slowly we'll close that gap where you're comfortable listening to the training with that distraction really close. Huh. That was a correction. Better. So there, why I corrected him and he did the same thing that time is I turned, he got kind of excited and huffy, and so I told him no, non-verbally, with the remote, and then use my body to help him with that correction of this is what you're supposed to do. There's a cat in front of my camera. Peppercorn, you're not helpful. I mean, kind of, but I love cats. Okay. I wasn't joking. There's a cat here. She's now inside the trailer, in the dovetail, or in the ramp. Okay, she's gonna walk back in front of my camera and probably knock it over, because that's what cats do. All you cat people out there, you know. Okay, so he's avoiding all of this stuff. I'm going to keep him here. It's ugly. It's really ugly right now. It's not fluid, especially when there's just a distraction around. Good. But I'm also gonna hold him a little bit more accountable. I'm trying to get close to the camera so you can see it. But if he doesn't want to turn over there, I'll turn here. It's still ugly, correct? And then bring him where he's supposed to be. Nice, slowing him down on that turn. I don't want him to rush through that. Still awkward, gonna correct a little bit, and then bring him to where he's supposed to be. Pager. I can speed him up, and then do my turn. Okay. So, I'm correcting and then showing him where he needs to be. Okay. And don't get me wrong, like he's not a bad dog at all. He's just kind of rude because he's learned how to be that way. So that's fine. We just work with it. I was gonna say something, but whatever. Oh, I was gonna talk about the level that I'm on. I was on 10 and now I'm down at 8. So yes, that's not really a correction, but it's just louder communication, I guess. I'm gonna try to stop talking a little bit and kind of work him through this. That was nicer. So before, and on that side when I'm turning, I'm not having to use my leash. Oh, what a nice dog. He's like, I'm done. I'm not having to use my leash, but over here I'm using a lot more of that leash guidance to help him. So each time that there's a distraction, I always tell people that you're gonna until your dog is like really solid on stuff, like and even then, you're gonna have to go back a step in training or put your training wheels back on or whatever you were doing the last time when you were teaching it. Because you up the distraction, you're gonna have to go back a step in the training to even that stuff out, typically. So right now it's harder over here for him because he's closer to the cat and he needs more guidance. So that's what I'm helping him with. Hey, I know you're confused and I know you're trying to avoid this cat. I'm gonna make it easier on you, but I'm also gonna hold you accountable for what we're learning right here. And this is where that learning curve is. It's like, this is hard, then it becomes easy, and then we put a next challenge in front of him. So, let's go. So here I'm using leash guidance because he needs help. So there he got distracted. Who knows if it's a treat or is excited about the cat. And this is why it's hard to talk and train. And before the cat was here, his tail was down and relaxed. Now it's kind of up and excited. I don't know why he keeps getting so excited around that turn over there. Nice, that was so much better. Oh, the cat's moving now. There, I'm gonna move my neck up, correct him a little bit, and help him out. Okay. A little bit of leash pop there. Gonna stay here where the cat is. I'm correcting. So there, I corrected, I moved up to 12, and I did a leash pop for a little bit of extra communication, speeding him up, pay attention to me, don't worry about the cat. Speed him up, okay. Slow him down. Just keep him working and moving and following you. boy. Good boy. And my good boys are kind of habit because I'm getting nicer work here because I'm working him and not standing here talking to you. But that's kind of going back to my treat thing. Like, I'm allowed to use treats because I'm Auntie Lucy and I'm a lot tougher on my dog and I hold them more accountable than his owners would because I'm a dog trainer and I can interrupt that stuff and my timing's better and all of that. So I want to be very careful how the owner is sharing the relationship with the dog as opposed to I'm sharing the relationship with the dog. So I may get the luxury to say good boy because I need to bring him up a little bit, or I'm excited about him doing well and it's just a habit of mine. But if the owner said good boy, he'd be like, oh, and start jumping or whatever. So the level of excitement would go up so much more than if I say it. Good boy. Nice. Pager. Good. He's a good boy. He's paying attention to me. He's not worried about the cat. Now the cat isn't moving anymore. She's just lying there in the sun. All right, you guys. I think this was a really good session for him. Yeah. It says the cat's still there. Oh, I really like to eat it. Huh. You poor thing. You don't get to be a predator. He doesn't like that. You're so awkward, Pluto. You're a good boy. You just, need a little help. All right, guys. Talk to you soon.